Okay, continuing with lesson 3.1.2, we are on question 3-15, equal ratios of similarity. So Casey wants to learn more about her enlarged C's. So we're going to look at our work from problem 3-13. Since the zoom factor multiplies each part of the original shape, so every section, then the ratio of the widths must equal the ratio of the lengths. So here are two of the C's from question number 13. Casey decided to show these ratios in the diagram at the right. So verify that her ratios are equal. So here is the ratios for the heights, and here is the ratio for the widths. Go ahead and press pause and verify that those two ratios are equal to each other. All right, so just double checking that these ratios are equal. Our first ratio of the heights, 24/8. When you divide those, we get 3. And then the ratio comparing the widths, 18/6. When you divide those, you get 3. So the ratios are equal there. So let's scroll down to letter B. When looking at Casey's work, her brother wrote the equation 8/6 equals 24/18. Are his ratios, in fact, equal? So again, you're going to double check those and make sure that they're equal. And how could he show his work on his diagram? So you're going to copy the diagram at the right, over here, these two C's. Copy the diagram at right. There we go. And add arrows to show what sides Casey's brother compared. You could also color certain sides using like a highlighter or colored pencils. So you're going to answer both of those. Double check that the ratios are equal and then show that work on the diagram. So again, press pause, do that work, and when you're finished, press play. Okay, so for the first part of that question, I set up our two ratios here. 8/6, we divide those, we get 1.33. 24/18, we divide those, we get 1.33. So those two ratios are in fact equal. And now to show that work on our diagram, we're going to make it look like how they did on this first problem. So the 8 is going to go 6 there. Green. So that's what your diagram could have looked like. So now let's go down to letter C. She has decided to create an enlarged C for the door of her bedroom. To fit, it needs to be 20 units tall. So that's here. We've got our 20 units tall. If X is the width, and X is down here at the bottom, you're going to write and solve an equation to find out how wide the C on Casey's door must be. So you're going to solve for X here. Be ready to share your equation and solution with the class. So now if you go back up to letter B and letter A, there are some examples of the ratios that you could set up. So try that out. Pause the video while you work through that and then press play when you're ready to move on. Okay, let's go ahead and check our answer for letter C. We're solving for X down here to solve for the width of the C for the door of her bedroom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve this two different ways for you. The first way, I'm going to set up ratios that look like up here when we did, when we did letter A, it'll look like these. And then the second way, I'll make ratios that look like letter B. Both methods are correct. So when I do the first way, if it doesn't look like yours, that's okay because yours might look like the second way that I show you. So our first set of ratios, and let me get, okay. So I'm going to link those two together. I'm going to put, sorry, this is a little messy, 20 over 8 equals, and then we'll put those two. So this is x over 6. Now we're going to cross multiply them. So I'm going to multiply these two together. And then I'm going to multiply those two together. 20 times 6, get 120. And now we just need to get that x by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by 8. And we get x equals 15. Okay, so now I'm going to erase everything and I'll set up the ratios the other way. Okay, green again. And now we'll make them look like these two ratios that we saw in letter B. So these two, we're going to put 8 over 6. And then those two, so 8 over 6 equals 20 over x. And we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to cross multiply. So I'll start with those. 6 times 20 is 120 equals, multiply those two together. Equals 8x. And same thing as before, we're going to divide both sides by 8. And again, we'll get x equals 15.